Carolina Panthers. This is kind of a gross roster to me.
Yeah.
Quarterback Sam Darnold, 184.1. I think that's undrafted in most leagues.
Yep, probably.
I have no faith in Sam Darnold. I don't really have. No, I'm staying away from him.
I mean, I probably am too. He's a streamer at best. You look at Teddy Bridgewater last year. No one was going into drafts thinking, "Oh man, I gotta have some Teddy Bridgewater."
Yeah.
Nah, he's a streamer, and Darnold will be a streamer too. I think Darnold may have a little more upside because of the chemistry with Robby Anderson that he had in New York. I still have a little faith in Sam Darnold. I think he was dealt a raw hand, like everybody agrees he probably was. But he didn't do a whole lot with what he had, so that take that into account. But yeah, if Darnold shows out in the first couple of weeks, he's worth a stream consideration, especially if you are taking a quarterback late in rounds and you get somebody who has some fluctuation, get like a Kirk Cousins or a Baker Mayfield, you end up with one of those guys, then Sam Darnold's not a bad option to have to stream. But yeah, no one's going into their drafts taking him.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with it at all. No. But moving on, the best player in fantasy football, Christian McCaffrey. Is there any way you're not taking him with your first? If you had the first overall pick, is there anyone else you'd take over him?
Probably not. I mean, it's him and Dalvin Cook are the 1 and 2
right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll probably stay that way. Is what everybody's thinking. And yeah, I don't know how you don't take McCaffrey with 1. If you don't, and you take Cook, that's fine. But the guy behind you just got probably the most productive player in fantasy. So shame on you. He's definitely worth the first pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of surprised his ADP. He didn't drop a little bit further down the list just based off of last year with the injury. We usually kind of see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best player in fantasy football.
Yeah, I think when he put up that 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving season, that kind of sealed his fate as a perennial first-round pick until something major happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about the wide receivers? DJ Moore, Robby Anderson. DJ Moore is going pretty early, late 3rd round pick, and Robby Anderson going in about the 7th round, 8th round.
Yeah, I think Robbie's a pretty good value here. I think Sam Darnold coming in definitely is a boost for Robby. They have chemistry back in New York, and Robby Anderson still had a solid year last year. I was a Robby Anderson owner, and I was somewhat okay with his performance. Now I got him. He was in a trade deal I got around like week 3 or 4 or so. So I was still okay with what I got. I think I ended up trading like Raheem Mostert for Todd Gurley and Robby Anderson. Ended up starting Todd Gurley for 4 or 5 games, and then I couldn't get rid of him. But Robby Anderson was part of the deal, and he was okay. The touchdowns weren't exactly there, but the yards were there, and the catches were there. And it wasn't as consistent as I would have hoped, but he still ended up as a decent wide receiver too, I think, last year.
Yeah.
Do we think he makes the push to a high-end wide receiver too? And with that being said, does DJ Moore finally make a jump to a wide receiver 1?
I think Robby's going to give you the value that you're drafting him at right now. I think he's going to have those big games, and he's going to have some games where he doesn't do anything. And I think you pretty much know what you're going to get with Robby. DJ Moore, maybe he makes that push in the wide receiver 1, but I'm not targeting him in any of my drafts, and that's just because of who's going right around him. Allen Robinson is the pick ahead. Mike Evans is the pick behind him. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper.
Oh man,
I think I'm taking all those guys. Yeah,
we are literally tanking his ADP right now.
Yeah,
there's no way. There's no way you don't take any of those other guys besides DJ Moore, right?
Right.
I don't know how. Yeah, DJ Moore I think is being a little overvalued. Now the talent's there for sure. But I mean, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, these are guys who have proven it for the past few years that they are worthy of their wide receiver ones right there. DJ Moore has been a wide receiver 2 at best.
Yeah.
He had a resurgence late last season, but I just don't see it. I'd rather have Robby. The value is there. I think it's safe to say we both like Robby more than DJ Moore.
For the price, yeah. We're drafting other guys instead of DJ Moore in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, tight end, who the hell knows?
Is it Ian Thomas?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I think I'll play an empty slot.
That's about what you'd get. He'd probably get 1 target a game.
The defense, probably not.
No, you're not drafting them, but I think they had a couple of good games, and they finished at 16th last year, which is odd considering they were, I think, pretty terrible against the run.
Yeah.
Last season, but I'm not looking at them. No one's really looking at them as an actual draft pick. So they're a streamer when they play Atlanta, maybe, or no, not when they play Atlanta.